Okay guys, I'm going to show you how to make a base like I have on this guy. I ran out of necromunda themed bases and decided to make my own. So I'll show you and talk about how I made a base like this with a slightly different one. So if you got any questions, let me know. I'll try to mention everything I used in it and we will get to it right now. Okay, so we need to figure out a thing to do with this base for this much larger guy who's going to be having a crossbow thing. And I've taken a couple pieces of 1/2 millimeter thick plastic card and let's just put those right next to each other, a full millimeter, and I've cut them into roughly similar shapes. Now, if you're new to this, what we're going to do is effectively lay them down, figure out technically where we want it, and then we're going to stack these on top of each other, creating a bit of interest visually. Alright, so we know he'll roughly stand on that. Whoop, he doesn't want to stand on anything right now. He doesn't stand for anything. Well, so there we go. We know he'll fit there, so that's a good step. So let's add a little bit of interest on the back. Something like maybe slightly over, like it's attached to it, and something like that. Looks like piping. Technically, you could take one of these very small cutouts and slide it into the top and glue it in place, and it would look like a candle. That's an option, depending on what you're doing. Personally, I'm using them like pipes. So if we can get him back on there, slide that around, and we have a little bit of something on the back to make it interesting. Not so much on the front, but he is going to have a very aggressively large bow thing. But let's not completely give up on that. So we got a little cut off of the 1/2 millimeter. So we're just gonna grab that really badly, and we're gonna put it up here and push her back in real careful, and that act as a little bit of a step. Now we can always add in other things depending on what you're trying to do. Like you could add a little couple pieces there, but since we're gonna have a guy who's gonna have this big crossbow right here, I don't want to tempt fate too much. He's already struggling to fit appropriately on the base, so let's go ahead and get this together real quick, and we can talk about how we did a few things. So let's just go ahead and pull those off, and that. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm using this Mr. Hobby thick. You could use Tamiya thick. We're just going to basically cake the top here, and then slide that right in place, and then we'll get right here as well. Now this gives a little bit better of a grip in my opinion when we're dealing with something that, well, isn't necessarily a miniature, and we're going to for the most part not want to get handled too roughly. We're going to use the blade to make sure there's appropriate amount of spacing in there, and go in, shazam. Alright, it's kind of lopsided, but you know what, we're gonna be seeing it like that, so it doesn't really matter. Let's just move a few things over there. So we got that handled. Let's grab this and drop that on there. Now what we're doing is we're doing a really simple technique. You could use you could use cardboard or just about anything, as long as you're using different thicknesses and you're layering the cuts in just enough away that it's not a problem. What we want to do is make sure we have enough space on the sides so that when it's painted, it'll give a nice impression. And let's go ahead and grab this ugly little box we got. It's got a bit of a chunk missing. We're going to go ahead and just doop right there and dump that right into place. Yeah. Is it beautiful? No. Is it giving it visual interest? Yes. And finally, let's get these little pipes in place. Maybe it's a little section that holds, or for the pipes to come out and vent something. Who knows? It's necromunda. It could be just about anything. But for the pipes here, you could use, oh Lord, there's a lot of different dimensions. But for miniatures, I'd say 2.4 millimeter. And what you do is you just put them on the side, and you take the blade and you rock it, and then you cut them off. And I cut them at different lengths if I'm going to put them next to each other. When they're cut, stand them up like this, take a drop of something like your plastic glue, drop it on there, and it'll glue it together, and you don't have to worry about that. Now, you could put all kinds of little bits of rubble and whatnot in there, but this is kind of an awkwardly large model for the base size we're already got, so we're not going to get too complicated on him. We just want him to have a little bit of visual interest when people are looking at him. So there we go. We'll be doing that. And here's the thing. You can leave spaces open. You can throw some ground effects, whatever you feel like in there, and get some really impressive things. We used a very similar technique on this. We've pre-shaded this so that you guys could see it. We got the little steps, another little pipe out the back here, and effectively, it's just about making really simple things. And honestly, I paid about $5 for a lot of card, and the cutoffs, there's two things you can do with them. You can either throw those onto the bits of base, and they'll look like rubble, or you can mix them into a basing mix, and they'll, again, look like little bits of rubble. Now, if you have any really thin cutoffs, you can stick them in the tops of these pipes. Let me see if I have any I could do that with. Yeah. It is very fiddly to do. We could take something about that size right here, slide that in the top, and then you could paint it up like a candle if you wanted. There's a lot of things to do, but at the end of the day, this is a really simple and easy way for you to do things. And you could do more cutouts inside of this. So if I wanted to, I could have cut a square out of there, maybe put something like some small amount of chicken wire. Who knows? There's a lot you could do, but honestly, just keep it simple, keep it easy. And unlike me, who basically, when I originally made the video, recorded my hand, make sure that your hand's not in shot. But most of all, you can use cardboard. You could use like WoW cards if you have those or something. You can use a lot of things, but make sure you keep the cutoffs. They're really good for adding in a bunch of junk into it. Let's go ahead and pull some of it in there. You could have a whole bunch of things, and then you never know if you're an orc player. A lot of these offcuts, you can go in, you can take a little bit, something like that, and then come in the other way and create little chips taken out of the armor, like it got splintered or hacked into. And you can go a lot more aggressive than that. And you could put this on the side of orc vehicles. You can cut off small parts and put them on as like armor for orcs. It's a really great a thing to use to just go crazy with orcs. But in this case, for basing, this is a really easy way of creating a base that has a lot of interest. It's unique. And, well, it's fairly cost effective. You can do a lot with very little. So, hopefully that was helpful, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Hey, what do you do? And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.